All right, get ready with me to go. So I'm a travel agent. Welcome to Black Girl Say Something, where this black girl has something to say. I'm whispering because my kids are still asleep. I'm up early. I've already had breakfast. I've had my tea. I did something a little different on my tea. You typically like kind of like what Starbucks makes, but I make it at home. The chai tea latte. And so I do have a black chai tea, a black vanilla chai tea that I use. And I typically make it with oat milk, brown sugar, syrup. But today I did something a little different. I did just a chai black tea, and Bottle House or Boat House, whatever they're called, has a chai tea like protein shake. So I added that and a little vanilla syrup, and it was actually pretty good. So I'll do another video of me making that. So right now I gotta brush my teeth because you gotta brush after every meal. Um, I've talked about this before on TikTok. How orthodontics. I had braces back in 2018 to 2019. I think I have to look. It's so long ago. Um, I think it was 2018 to 2019 because I started my doctorate program in 2018 and graduated in 2018. So it might be 2018 to 2017 or 2018 to 2019. Can't remember, but I know I got them off for my birthday. And I had to have 8 teeth pulled, my four wisdom teeth and four premolars. Now, because I ain't been wearing my retainers, there is this little bit of space. So when I get to where I want to be in life, I will be doing Invisalign because during the pandemic, my bottom retainer had broke and everything was closed, so I couldn't get a replacement. And by the time I was able to get a replacement, they were like, "Oh, if you're happy with the space, we can just make you another one," because they had already owed me a retainer because I had to get a crown put on a tooth that had broke. Um, so they had made me like a temporary retainer, but I was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll be back. I'm gonna come back and get Invisalign. So I gotta brush my teeth. So I'm getting ready. I gotta tell y'all what I'm getting ready for. But get ready with me. I had already taken a shower, so I washed my face already. And I typically spray my face with witch hazel and rose water. It's mixed together. So there's that. I don't know if this is more of like an outdoor event or indoor event. So what I'm going to do, or what I plan to do, is I typically always wear my sunscreen, which is this Unseen by Supergoop. It's getting a little low. I think today, um, because I want to be a little cute because it's a travel agent thing. So I'm also a travel agent. I've been a travel agent for about a year. That was one of my goals last year that I set out to do. And it's been good. It's been really good. Um, okay, so what else do I need? I need my wig cap. That's number one. And I'm going to do just a no makeup look because Supergoop does have the tinted sunscreen that I fell in love with um, since I started out, and I'll probably put a little concealer because I am a little tired. I was up late last night watching shows with my kids, and then I'll probably end it with a little lip gloss, which I don't. see here, and I'll probably put on a little eye. I'm not gonna put on any blush, but so I'm not looking super duper crazy. I'm gonna put on a wig cap because of course I'm wearing a wig. Duh. That's why the braids looking like how they looking. Anywho, so I'm getting ready to go to, I'm a travel agent, and as travel agents we get to go to like sometimes exclusive events, kind of like a try before you buy or try before you sell to your customers. So I'm going to a cruise ship tour, and hopefully I like it, because if I like it then I'll book for myself. And typically what I do is if I like it I'll go by myself, and then I'll take my kids um, on the next go round, because I want to make sure like how much fun they're going to have and things like that. Oh Lord, my robe don't want to stay closed. So there's that. In the midst of all of this, y'all know TikTok is now banned in the United States, and or is went dark. Let's not say banned. Maybe it's coming back. But it went away while I was downloading all of my drafts, so I don't even know if I'll have that when it comes back. Oh, what brush am I gonna use? Let's see, this should be a good one. It went dark while I was downloading my draft, so I don't know if I'm gonna have those back, if it comes back. But I want to talk about people and their ignorance. I'm finding, and there was this creator on TikTok. She had a viral sound that was like, "How hard can it be? Boys do it." And she made it known. You know, you realize on these other platforms that these other platforms don't have your target audience. They have your common audience, right? And so for me, and she didn't say this, but this is what I come to recognize. Because she said over on how she went to Instagram, and she said a statement. She said a statement like, why would they want to ban it, blah, blah, blah. And somebody who she's been friends with for a long time said, oh, if everybody, if the whole Supreme Court is agreeing that it needs to be banned, then it's probably a reason. And she said, I recognize that a lot of those people secretly, they don't get it and they don't like me. And she's not for nothing, she's a white woman. So I don't know where she's coming from, but I would imagine that probably some of her people are supporters of the incoming president, right? And you know, when you are a person of her demographic, you find yourself having to check people a lot of the times. Whereas me as a black woman, I'm always checking everyone. People in my community, people out my community. Is always rough and tough. So today is a day where I'm on Facebook and I'm deleting people that's like, oh, I hope it stays banned forever. Because ignorance is bliss. You're trying to tie in the fact that people are losing their homes in LA to the fact that we're worried about TikTok. The whole time I was on some of those people who lost their homes in LA, and they were able to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars because of TikTok. Where else are you going to go and be able to raise so much money? Not Facebook, not Instagram, because it's not going to put it in front of the target audience. And that was my biggest win over on TikTok. And even over here on YouTube, my videos get put in front of the people who want to see Black girls say something. My YouTube didn't start growing until I started saying on TikTok, hey, I have a YouTube. My YouTube didn't start growing until I was saying, or my podcast didn't start growing until I said on YouTube, hey, check out this podcast. Now people all over are listening. People were listening, but people weren't listening. You get what I'm saying? Like there's a difference. People were tuning in to see what I had to say, but people weren't resonating. And in my closing, when I close my podcast, I always say, if something resonated with you, share this with at least one person. I can see how it's getting shared. I can see that. Oh, this looks good already. The lighting in here kind of sucks because it's like overhead white lights, but it looks good already. So I may not even need to put a little under eye. I might put just a dab. 1, 2. I said 1, 2, but that's more like 4. because I don't want to look sleepy. So yeah, so when we're talking about what's going on in the world, a part of that is understanding that everything is politics, right? Everything is politics, and making sure that the state of the poor stays poor. And I mean, TikTok was such a time. She was that girl. She was such a time. I mean, look at how that girl was able to raise so much money for that homeless man. And everyone was to say, what's the word? Everyone was able to say, hey, he's not a good guy, this, that, and the third. And, but regardless to what, she was able to raise so much money. Had she took that to Instagram, a lot of these platforms are built on being mean. And I might just make a new Facebook because, to be quite honest with you, I'm my target audience, or the audience that is curated, are people who've known me for years, and that is not your target. That's not the target audience. I want to get in front of my target audience. My target audience don't ask me a million questions before placing an order with my business. My target audience sees the value in what I do, and immediately they're connected. So I'm gonna put a little Make It Matte on. This is the Fenty Beauty Invisimatte. Now, I don't know if I've ever used, I don't know if I'm using it right? Because it's not finishing. I just picked some up. It's very matte. So, you see how it takes the shine away? Because the sunscreen will leave you a little bit shiny. And I don't want to be shiny today. I would rather be matte. And the lady who did my eyebrows, when she first did them, they sucked. Now that they're growing back in, she did it like that so they could grow back in appropriately. Am I the only one that when I do my makeup, my nose starts to run? What's up with that? So, yeah, so what I was saying was, yeah, like, I'm in this place where I'm like, don't be dense, right? Like you saying, you hope they ban it forever, but what about the people, not even what about the influencers? What about the people who was working at TikTok headquarters in the United States? You want it banned forever so they don't have a job? Like, shut up and don't be dumb. I don't know if I could say that on here. So yeah, so I'm getting ready. I'm a travel agent. That was one of my goals because I found myself traveling so much. And so it's not like you get paid to travel, it comes back in a certain return. But I am a learner, and I'm a forever student. That's why I have a doctorate degree. As a learner, an avid learner, I find that if you've ever been on a cruise, unless you booked with a travel agent, there's a lot of questions that are unanswered. And so, because I'm a travel agent, a lot of times when I book the cruise, I get early access to the itinerary. So I know what parties are going on. I know what nights is what, the white party, the this, the that, the third. What happens is I like to know before I go. And that's another reason why I'm gonna miss TikTok, because if it's not a cruise and it's just I'm gonna put a little eyebrow because my eyebrows need a little filling. If it's not a cruise and it's a flight to stay somewhere or whatever, for the eyebrows, I typically just do a little slicking. This is NYX. Thick It, Stick It. It lays the eyebrows. It just gives it a little color. Because I did put all that brown on my face, so I don't want my eyebrows to disappear into the abyss. Um, but that's how I would create whole itineraries for people. I do it for myself and then I do it for people. They be like, okay, I want to go to Louisiana during da 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 da. I'm able to tell them, hey, this time, because I'm not from Louisiana, oh, during this time is Mardi Gras. Are you okay with traveling during that time? Or do you want to experience Mardi Gras? Now I can build them a whole itinerary as it relates to Mardi Gras. You see what I'm saying? Okay, this looks good. I'm happy with it. I don't know. I'll just put on like some clear gloss and call it a day. Yeah, anywho, so yeah, I just wanted to get on here and gripe a little bit about the fact that people are wanting to be dense about the fact that what TikTok really was. TikTok was not just another social media platform. It was a place where people could create. I saw so many people say, and this is me doing operating from my health professional standpoint. No diagnosing, no whatever. It's purely research and social research at that. But there were literally back when I was doing my doctorate is in health science, concentrating in global health. And I remember I did my doctorate during a time of COVID. So I started in 2018. I didn't graduate till 2022. So that lets you know a big portion of my research and assignments were about COVID. Prior to that, I was focusing on um, maternal child topics, which I still did. My dissertation is in maternal child topics, where I created a global health course. A need. I had to show that there was a need for a global health course in maternal child topics. How did I do that? Based on research, based on maternal mortality. Moms are dying because they're black. Pretty much that's it. Health disparities as it relates to black women. I because it was a global doctorate. I chose South Sudan and Southeast Asia. Now I only wanted to choose Sudan, which is in Africa, because and I was supposed to do my internship there, but COVID happened, so I ended up doing a teaching assistantship as my internship, where I taught complementary and alternative medicine as a global need, right? So um, I wanted to say that all health begins with the black woman, and they were like, you might not. Um, your dissertation, your practicum might not be accepted if you put that. So my mentor had to help me align it. I had to put together a committee, all of that good stuff. Anywho, long to the short is this: when I was doing, I can't remember what the class was, but there was one class where I had to write about the death rate as it relates to COVID. I chose the Philippines. Come to find out, the people wasn't dying from Philippines. Philippines had no incidents of COVID. You know who were dying? The elderly. They were dying because they were lonely. They weren't able to go to church. They weren't able to see their grandkids. Their children weren't able to check on them and do their daily runs and tasks and things like that. They weren't able to go to like bingo and hang out. So again, people thrive when they have community. People need community. And a lot of people found community in TikTok. I myself included, when I started voicing what this black girl has to say as it relates to my divorce, as it relates to domestic violence, as it relates to being a single mom transitioning from being a married single mom to a single primary mom, there was community there. Even in recent videos where I talked about how having a doctorate, I did a job interview. These people interviewed me and was like, oh, we see you have a doctorate. That's what the position calls for. Great, great, great. You check all these boxes. They asked me all the questions. Everything is perfect. One question she even asked me, I answered it correctly. And she was like, don't you know most people answer this question wrong? And I was like, well, I teach introduction to healthcare. So that's something that I personally wouldn't get wrong, as that is my profession. That's what I do. And she was like, oh, great, great, great. We're going to forward your resume to the hiring department. You should hear something back from them this week. Oh, but before we go forward, do you have any questions for me? I'm like, oh, how much does the position pay? She said $22 an hour. And that's how silent I was. That's how silent she was. And she was like, are you there? I'm like, yeah. She's like, are you okay with that? And I was like, well, yeah. Right? She's like, oh, we also have a sign on bonus. The sign on bonus, they pay you out over the course of 2 years. So you don't get the first payment until like 90 days. Then you get the next payment after a year. It's broken up into four parts. I think it was like 90 days, 180 days. Maybe it's like every 3 months, but at some point it's like 90 days, a year, and then 2 years. But you have to sign a 2 year commitment in order to get the sign on bonus. I told her I wasn't okay with signing a 2 year commitment, and that's probably why I didn't get it. Long story to the short, I had that interview, I want to say, on a Monday. By Tuesday evening, I was told I did not receive that job. As somebody who is in a place where I need to take something right now, so I took that issue to TikTok. And let me tell you something, the people that were able to tell me, go here, go there, do this, I did that. And this is why I'm going to miss the app, because I had never heard of this one job board where this lady told me to go apply. And that makes more sense because based on what I know how to do, now I'm seeing jobs that I'm like, oh, I can do this. And the money makes sense. So you find community. Community is necessary for people to thrive. Community is necessary for people to have their needs met. Community is necessary. And people found community in TikTok. People found solace in TikTok. Even if you found yourself doom scrolling, guess what? You still have to have a life outside of it all. But with that being said, if something was said that resonated with you, share this with at least one person. Remember, you can tune into Black Girl Say Something every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, wherever you listen to podcasts. And also keep in mind that we are over here on YouTube. So subscribe, because why you not subscribed yet? You watched this video, you saw it live, you ain't subscribed. What's up with that? Okay. Also, I will be posting what I come to learn. So I might go live later today. If you see this, there'll be another video posted about what my findings were at the cruise ship tour. So I'm excited about that. Until next time, be cute and don't forget to tell people how you feel. Be that black girl that has something to say, even if you're not a girl. Say something. Thank you for tuning in.